I hear that, and I'm sure it took
Yeah.
all of your training to actually put that together in about 6 weeks' time to get everything that you were taught and give it over to those who had no idea what they were, perhaps no idea what they were doing prior to.
Yeah, and I don't think Gina had any idea what to expect. I know that, her and I will be buddies forever, just because, again, here was an opportunity to put my thumbprint on this movie to represent my world, and so, I wanted to make sure that it's getting represented as accurately as possible. And again, if she's gonna ride the train on the the hours and months of abuse that we go through in order to become operators or to become professional special forces guys, then she definitely paid a high price again. But a very talented girl, and the 6 weeks that she spent with me, again, very well worth it. You'll see it on film.
Now, I am one, and the people who know me, they know that I like to travel a little bit, and that's a bit of an understatement at the same time. I was in Dublin this past summer, and I know that the town, it's not a very spacious town that is very easy to allow for filming. What were some of the hindrances that the film crew came across trying to film or while filming in Dublin?
The most of the filming that was done in Dublin was contained to a couple of specific scenes in the film. So there wasn't a lot of mainstream filming problems. And and the Irish are really nice, good people. So
oh yes.
I know that the film created a lot of jobs there. I think there was a couple hundred jobs that were created throughout production there. But the main action sequences were actually filmed on top of a series of roofs downtown in one of the seedier parts of Dublin. So there wasn't really any access to that production, and there wasn't any real restrictions, I don't think. And then there was a hotel shot that was done, which again was contained, and there was some street walking with some stunts and a bit of stunt driving that was done also in an alley where she kind of starts to evade some people who are coming after just after she kills Michael Fassbender's character. I don't know if you guys saw the movie X-Men. He plays Magneto.
Yeah.
He also stars in the film and gets beat up to the point where he's dead. So, like I said, Gina beats her way through a lot of stars in this movie, which I think is what Steven wanted.
Fair enough. Now, we also understand that you had a very entertaining scene with Channing Tatum. Describe what it was like going up with one of Hollywood's up-and-coming stars.
Yeah, after training these guys for almost 2 months total before we dropped on the set, I was really excited to get my opportunity to show my acting chops. So really, I got into the frame of mind. Steven set me up with an acting coach quietly for a couple of days just to go over my lines to make sure I sort of knew what I was doing. And, I took a lot of drama in high school, believe it or not, and I did a lot of improvising in my unit, obviously because of the nature of it. So, and I've been in really stressful situations, but you become so close with the cast and so close with the crew that the nerves kind of drop. The acting for me was actually a lot of fun. I believed I was pretty good at it, and it was pretty natural. I had a bunch of people come up to me in the crew after we shot our scenes, and they said, "Hey, you were great, totally believable." So, I just kind of went at it like as if it was me sitting in the chair as part of that team, which is what I play as one of the special ops team members. And it was cool bouncing off professional actors, and that's really what it is. You're having a conversation, but you're just using memorized words. But Steven doesn't really hang on to that too tightly. He gives the actors a lot of freedom, to just kind of improvise as long as it's matching the scene and what it is that needs to be communicated. But it was easy because most of the lines that everybody was saying were lines that I gave him when we were developing the script, so it was pretty easy.
So this leads into the obvious question I have to ask you: are you interested in a career in acting?
I would definitely pursue any other acting opportunities that come my way, just because I had such a good time with it. I think it's an interesting craft. I definitely think that there's some skill building involved there, and it's definitely something that you have to work on. But I also think there's some natural talent involved, and it's like anything else. I think if you practice, you can get good at it. But I'll definitely jump on more opportunities. In fact, there was 2 of the movies that I worked on. One was in Mexico, which is slated to come out probably sometime next year. And believe it or not, it stars our friend Mel Gibson, who is nothing but a gentleman, I might add. And then there's another film that I did some acting on also, and some light stunt work while I was bodyguarding Jake Gyllenhaal. They asked me to come in and help out a little bit. So, if the stuff keeps coming, I'll keep jumping on it. I feel like I'd be a fool not to. It's a lot of fun, and it's movies, so why not?
Now, I know that me and Yossi G have asked you a couple of questions that you considered good, and you like those questions. Let me ask you a geeky question, because I have to, out of curiosity. You worked with a lot of big stars on this film, the film Haywire. You got Gina Carano, Tony Banderas, Michael Douglas. What are they like in real life?
I think that's a fair question.
Okay, great. Okay, good.
Gina's for Channing Tatum is probably one of the nicest people I've ever met. I feel like he's the kind of guy who, if he was in Israel, would have a hard time with Israelis at first because he would think they were too crass.
Oh,
he's
okay.
a Southern boy. He's from Alabama. Grew up in northern Florida. Just like the nicest guy in the world. I believe that in addition to his talent, I think that his sensibilities and just how nice he is makes him super easy to work with. And I found that in Hollywood, the nice actors tend to get the most work and become the bigger stars. I feel like the corporations have now made it to the point where if you're a pain in the ass, you're just not going to work as much. So, and that's up to the A-list level too. So, Gina's also really cool. Gina, her dad was a professional football player. She's kind of a girl's guy, but she, like one of the guys type of. She's tomboyish, but she's sweet. I think that this is a lot of stuff that's happening to her right now. She's actually pretty shy, but she's also very true, to her profession, to her sport, and what I liked about her was how much respect she had for the process that she was going through with me. And, we've just become really tight and good buddies, and we've done a bunch of interviews together. We have a screening tonight that we'll be at. And, she's just down to earth. She's down to earth, and she's really happy to be the face of MMA, for women fighters. And she's just a grateful girl. And that's why she's really relatable, I think they'll come out when you see that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm a big fan of Gina.
And Ewan McGregor is also a fabulous gentleman, I might add. He's also in the movie. He plays an Eric Prince character, the former head of Blackwater, was the also just like a sweet guy, super nice guy, super talented, but just, like the English would say, he's lovely.
Yes.
Well, we would love to have both of them on the show. So if you can put a good word for us, we'll have our guy contact them and try to make it happen. The film is Haywire, comes out January 20th. January 20th. Aaron, great time as always having you on. The success keeps coming for you. I'm very happy about it. You're definitely one of our favorites here at Digital Sports Radio. And
you're somebody who represents everything that any Israeli or anybody who loves the state of Israel could hope for.
Yeah, I mean, this. I mean, whether Steven wanted it or not, whether Relativity, the production company, wanted it or not, this film has Israel all over it. There's more Duke Devon and Israeli Special Forces on this film, thumbprinted and footprinted into all this action. I think that's something that everyone from my unit should feel. Everyone in the IDF and Steven's an Israel fan, so I'm a fan of his, and hopefully everyone in Israel, when this comes out in Israel, will be a fan of the movie. I did my best to step forward with my strongest foot to represent Israel on this one, and make no bones about that's where I was trained. And so, I appreciate you guys having me on as always. And Ari, my Montreal brother, I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you, I wrote you an email over the summer that said, hey, when you're in Israel, we definitely got to meet up. And I wasn't just saying that. I don't have to say that kind of everybody, but I was being serious. So we definitely love to meet you in person, have your studio, or just chill and chat, because definitely a down-to-earth, cool guy. We love to meet you in person.
No, man, I would love nothing more than to have a Ness al-Halal and come in and sit with you guys and and hang out. You guys have a great show, so
Thank you.
I always appreciate you guys having me on and making me sound good. And this interview, I'm gonna shoot it around and make sure that everybody hears it. So thank you again.
Absolutely.
Sounds like a plan.
Aaron, my brother, happy to have you on. Continued success. We'll definitely be in touch. All the best and
Only good stuff, man.
Only good stuff, man.
Things.
Yalla guys, kol tov lechem. Toda.
All right,
Toda.
Shabbat Shalom.